I mean, you can pick the adjective you want: jaw-dropping, shocking, fiery. It covers just about every single one of those. I think that the bottom line of all of this is that things have changed. Volodymyr Zelenskyy arrived in Washington just a few hours ago with probably some degree of optimism about what he could get done in terms of a deal and in terms of potentially at least opening the door to American security guarantees. Those seem to have firmly been closed in his face and in quite a public fashion as well. Exactly what he does next, I think even he is probably going to be figuring out at the moment, and certainly the reaction here in Ukraine has been one of shock and really of uncertainty, because who knows where we go from here. The demands that Volodymyr Zelenskyy was going to put to Trump was that he needs these American security guarantees in order to ensure this lasting, enduring peace that he and other European leaders have repeatedly talked about. Trump has been reluctant to give those, and now seems even more unlikely. But what Zelenskyy was also going to do, too, was to actually question Trump whether he was going to stop direct US aid to Ukraine, and if he did, whether he was also going to allow or not allow Ukraine to buy American weapons. So you can see there are a lot of implications that haven't fully been fleshed out yet, probably even considered by people who are still focused on just the personality clash that we witnessed in the Oval Office a couple of hours ago. Exactly what it means for the war, again, that has to play out, but certainly from the ground at the moment, things really have shifted in what seems to be quite a fundamental way.
Now, Joel, we were seeing, lots of murmurs, or I should say a few murmurs now, of Republicans calling for Zelenskyy to go. After his humiliation in the Oval Office, are Ukrainians uniting with their president, or do you think they will now desert him?
Well, I think it's way too soon to really get a sense of whether they're united behind the president. But look, certainly after Donald Trump said that Zelenskyy was a dictator and suggested that his approval ratings were around 4% in those comments just over a week ago, polling seemed to show that actually people were even more supportive of Zelenskyy. His approval ratings shot up in the wake of those comments. Those are hovering in the region of about 65% as of last weekend. So he does have a lot of support among Ukrainians. It is not total support. Of course, there is opposition figures who think that he could be replaced or that other people might do a better job in all of this. But you have to remember, this is a country at war. It is a country that has rallied together in the face of what they say is an invading force, a force that is occupying large swathes of their east, and a force that continues to pummel places like Kiev daily, nightly, with drone attacks that are costing people lives. This is something that is happening right across the country. It is in no way, shape or form safe in any single part of it, and it is the Russians that are killing these people. So this is all factoring into the considerations for Ukrainians. I think the other thing that they will look at, Mariam, when they see what Zelenskyy was saying in that meeting and that exchange with Donald Trump is some of the talking points that he was trying to rebut to J.D. Vance, the US Vice President. Vance talked about conscription, that there has been stories, and we haven't been able to verify them, but stories that we believe to be true about forcible conscription, about more aggressive conscription. Ukraine has an issue with trying to mobilize its population, trying to get enough people to the front line, into its armed forces, in order to try and deal with the Russian attacks that are beginning to creep ever further westward in the country's east. He also brought up the fact that he believes that Putin can be trusted, like Donald Trump said as well. And Zelenskyy talked about the fact that Putin has repeatedly proven he cannot be trusted. Indeed, he brought up the Minsk agreements that were signed in 2014 and 2015, just before Crimea happened, before the Russian occupation of Crimea. Those were agreements where Putin promised that he wouldn't continue attacks. It was supposed to be a ceasefire. And as far as Ukraine, and that includes people that oppose Zelenskyy as well, as far as Ukraine is concerned, those were agreements that Vladimir Putin not only violated, but demonstrated very clearly that whatever he signs, as far as they're concerned, those are words that may as well have no value.